Helicopter aviation during World War II was still in its infancy, yet the United States and Canada played a decisive role in transforming the helicopter from an experimental curiosity into a practical military tool. While helicopters did not fight in large-scale combat like airplanes, they proved their value in rescue, liaison, observation, and training roles, laying the foundation for the post-war rotary-wing revolution. American industry, supported by early operational use with the U.S. Army, U.S. Navy, U.S. Coast Guard, and the Royal Canadian Air Force, led the world in wartime helicopter development. If you enjoy deep aviation history, rare World War II aircraft, and detailed performance analysis, subscribe now. Many more large-scale aircraft profiles and expanded historical deep dives are coming soon. The Sikorsky R-4 was the world's first mass-produced military helicopter and the most important rotary-wing aircraft of World War II. Powered by a piston engine and using a single main rotor with a tail rotor, it demonstrated that helicopters could be reliable operational machines. Flying at around 75 miles per hour, weighing approximately 2,500 pounds, and having a range near 130 miles, it was used by the U.S. Army Air Forces, U.S. Navy, U.S. Coast Guard, and the RCF for rescue missions, liaison, and pilot training, including historic combat rescues in the China, Burma, India theater. The Sikorsky HNS-1 was the U.S. Navy and Coast Guard designation for the R-4. It played a crucial role in proving the helicopter's usefulness at sea, particularly for overwater rescue and ship-based operations. With performance similar to the R-4, it demonstrated that helicopters could operate from small ships and confined areas, something impossible for conventional aircraft. The Sikorsky R-5 was a larger and more capable development of the R-4, designed to carry heavier loads and operate more reliably. It reached speeds of about 90 miles per hour, weighed roughly 3,400 pounds, and had a range near 275 miles, making it better suited for rescue and transport roles. Although it entered service late in the war, it strongly influenced post-war military helicopter design. The Sikorsky HNS-2 was the naval version of the R-5, intended to expand helicopter use in maritime environments. While its wartime service was limited, it contributed valuable operational data for shipboard helicopter operations that would become standard after 1945. The Sikorsky R-6 was a lighter and more agile helicopter developed to improve handling and reduce mechanical complexity. Flying at around 80 miles per hour, weighing approximately 2,300 pounds, and offering a range near 160 miles, it was used primarily for training and evaluation. Its simplified design helped refine rotor systems and flight controls. The Sikorsky R-7 was an experimental transport helicopter aimed at carrying more personnel and cargo. Though it did not reach full operational service during the war, it reflected the rapid ambition of American designers to scale helicopters beyond single-pilot machines. The Platt-LePage XR-1 was an experimental American helicopter using a transverse twin-rotor configuration without a tail rotor. Although innovative, it suffered from mechanical and control issues. With speeds around 100 miles per hour on paper, it never became operational, but contributed to the understanding of alternative helicopter layouts. The Platt-LePage XR-2 was an improved follow-on design intended to fix the XR-1 shortcomings. Despite refinements, it remained experimental and was ultimately overshadowed by Sikorsky's simpler and more reliable single-rotor configuration. The Kellett XR-8 was another experimental helicopter design evaluated by the U.S. Army. While it showed promise, it was not adopted for service, illustrating how rapidly the military narrowed its focus toward proven designs during wartime. The Bell Model 30 was Bell Aircraft's first helicopter and an important stepping stone toward post-war success. Though not used operationally in combat, it contributed directly to the development of the Bell 47, one of the most influential helicopters of the late 1940s and 1950s. The Sikorsky VS-300 was the true ancestor of all modern single-rotor helicopters. First flown in 1939, it served as a flying laboratory throughout the early war years. Although never used operationally, It proved the practicality of the single main rotor with a tail rotor configuration. Its experimental flights directly led to the R-4 and established the basic helicopter layout still used today. The Sikorsky XR-4 was the prototype version of the R-4 and the first helicopter evaluated by the U.S. Army Air Forces. It validated helicopter endurance, controllability, and reliability under military conditions. Testing of the XR-4 convinced the U.S. military to place the first-ever production orders for helicopters. The Sikorsky YR-4B was an improved pre-production variant that addressed stability and maintenance issues found in early models. These aircraft were used extensively for training pilots and mechanics, ensuring that helicopter units could operate safely and consistently. The Sikorsky YR-5A served as the evaluation and service test version of the R-5. It demonstrated significantly better payload capability and range compared to earlier helicopters. Though wartime deployment was limited, it proved helicopters could scale up in size and usefulness. The Sikorsky YR-6A was tested as a potential lightweight observation and liaison helicopter. Its compact size and improved handling characteristics made it suitable for confined area operations, reinforcing the helicopter's future role in battlefield reconnaissance. The Kellett KD-1 was an experimental syncropter design featuring intermeshing rotors. While complex and maintenance-intensive, it provided important insights into alternative rotor arrangements that eliminated the need for a tail rotor. This configuration would later be refined and used successfully in post-war helicopters. The Gyrodyne QH-50 concepts, while not flying during World War II in their final form, originated from wartime American research into compound rotorcraft. These studies explored combining helicopter lift with airplane-like forward speed, influencing later hybrid designs. The Bell Model 42, developed from wartime experience with the Model 30, was initiated in the final stages of the war. Though it did not see wartime service, its design reflected lessons learned during World War II testing and directly influenced early post-war military helicopters. In Canada, helicopter operations were closely tied to American production. The Royal Canadian Air Force R-4 aircraft were used primarily for evaluation, training, and rescue experimentation. Although Canada did not develop its own helicopters during the war, its early adoption and operational testing helped integrate helicopters in a Commonwealth air doctrine. World War II helicopters in U.S. and Canadian service were few in number and limited in capability, but their impact was enormous. They proved vertical flight was practical, reliable, and militarily valuable. From life-saving rescues in remote jungles to shipboard operations at sea, these early helicopters quietly reshaped the future of military aviation. Helicopter aviation during World War II stands as a reminder that even small numbers of experimental machines can change the course of technological history when used at the right moment and in the right way.